Good evening and welcome to Dalmar TV. Tonight we have Representative Laura Lense, House District 23rd. Representative Lense, welcome to Dalmar TV.
Thank you.
Our viewers are not very familiar with you. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you the question by saying, who is Laura Lense?
I am Laura Lense, and I am in my second term at the Ohio House of Representatives. I am also part of the leadership team, so I am the Assistant Majority Whip, which means that I work very closely with Speaker Bob Cupp in developing our legislative policies and what we can do for the state of Ohio. Prior to that, I was an attorney with the United States Department of Justice. I did political asylum cases, so I am familiar with some of the asylum issues that Somalis and other groups throughout the world have had. But I also am a wife and a mother. I have 3 children, 22, 20, and 17. And I spent about 20 years staying home with my children, raising them. And then I have written 4 books. And I then ran for city council and got involved locally. And then I ran for the State House and have been successful.
As you said, this is your second term. Because of this election, why a District 23rd constituency vote for you instead of your opponent?
Well, I have the experience, and with everything that's happening with both COVID and the economic shutdown, it's especially difficult time to try to figure out these problems, and I have been working on them since March. I served on what's called the Economic Recovery Task Force to help small businesses that have been negatively impacted by the shutdown. And so I have a lot of experience in that area. I've also been working with and speaking with hospitals and what we can do to help with the virus itself and what we can do at the state level. So over the summer, we passed a lot of legislation that had to deal with the shutdown as well as the virus. And I have that experience going into this next year because it's not over and we're going to start to see some more troubling times ahead.
As you all know, COVID-19 has hit us hard here in the nation, state of Ohio, specifically Central Ohio. There are a lot of women business within your area of town, specifically Somali women who are our backbone, but most of our entrepreneurs are young women. And the COVID-19 has hit hard within their industry. What specific leadership can you bring to the table in order to help those small businesses to lift them up?
Well, I am married to an entrepreneur as well, so I know firsthand about a lot of the challenges that our small business people are facing. And one of the things that we have been doing at the State House is going through our laws. Right now, we know money is going to be a very difficult issue. The federal government has distributed a lot of money through the PPP as well as through the CARES money. But at the state level, we're not going to have that kind of money. So we are looking at what we can do to help small businesses with primarily regulation. So for example, in the restaurant industry, we have loosened a lot of the often very difficult, burdensome laws on the books that have hindered small businesses. So for example, being able to eat outside, we have expanded the area, allow people to utilize a parking lot, and things like that, so that businesses can come up with creative ways to expand. And so we are trying to come up with other ideas of what we can do to help small businesses, but that's one example of what we've done so far.
There are a lot of new voters recently, specifically the Somali community, and they are on the fence on both parties. What would be a message for those who are undecided at this point in the election?
Well, I can tell you as a Republican, my strongest belief is in fiscal conservatism. So what we can do to keep our economy strong. And if we have a strong economy, then we can do a lot of the other programs that we have done. So last year, before COVID, we were able to put $675 million into what's called wraparound services. And I'm sure Somali children, like the rest of the children in my district, have been able to utilize those programs. There are after-school counseling, after-school programs to help kids do better in school. Without a strong financial background, we would not have had that money. So we try to be very careful with tax dollars, and then we try to put them in places where we know they will have the biggest impact. And our youth is typically where we would like to invest most of our money.
Finally, what message do you have for our viewers?
That I am here for you. And one of the things that I try very hard to do is to be very accessible to my constituents. So if they ever have any questions, they can reach out to my office, that we are there to help. But that it's also important to get engaged and not to rely on one party or the other to do what needs to be done. See who is out there actually talking to you, meeting with you, and working with you, and doesn't take you for granted.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Take care.